Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to build a calendar with the help of a query, blank query. And the awesome thing about that is that we can just copy it at the end and paste it in any report we will build in the future. So this is awesome. So stay focused here. Okay, so let's just start it. We go and get data. We choose blank query and we will use a formula list dates. So we'll say equal to list dot dates. This is the function for our calendar. Let me just delete the word before, so I get only the formula, open parentheses, and we need to add the start of our calendar, the start which will be added like hash and then date, open parentheses, and we need to indicate here the year, let's say 2020 January 1st. Okay, and next thing we add the comma, and as you can see here we need to specify the duration what we want in this calendar. So of course we will want days and the number of it, how many days we want to add in. So just for exercise now, for beginning, we'll add 20 days and then we will specify the duration. So we'll write again hash date duration, open parentheses, and in order to indicate days that we want days, we need to add a code which is 1 comma and 3 zeros and comma in between. Hit enter, and we have a small error. So instead of hash I have a 3 here, so I will write hash, hit enter, and we have all our dates, first list. Now of course, now in real life we will not need 20 days, we will need maybe hundreds of dates, because we will have years maybe that we will have to analyze our data. So we can just do that in Excel, but that will be a lot of effort to count how many days we need. So the easiest way is to use a formula like duration days, and we will say the end date subtracting the start date, and that's the way we will get the number of required or needed days. So let's say duration days, which is here, open parentheses, and now we need to indicate our end date. So we'll say again hash date, open parentheses, and we write let's say the end date should be 2024, let's say December, and last day 31, and we need to subtract now the start date, which could be also, again, we need to write hash date, and the start date, as you can have it here, should be 2020 January 1st, and that's it. We hit enter, and now we have a full calendar. Now there is only a small problem. Usually when we do the subtraction we will get it 1 day less, so in order to avoid that we can say the end date could be 2025 January 1st, and now everything should be fine. Hit enter, and that's it. Okay, next step, we are still in the phase of having a query. So in order to build a calendar we need to transform this query in a table, and we can just go in convert to table, click on it. We have only one column, so we don't have any extra columns, so we just hit OK. We can name this as let's say dates, enter, And now in order to build a real calendar, we need to add months name, days name, and numbers, quarters, weeks, and so on. So in order to do that, we need to use some functions, which are called, by the way, metadata, but in fact are only some functions. As you can see, in order to add a new column with the year, we need to use this date.year function, where we'll include our first column, and similarly for all of them. So I will just start with the first formula for the year. So in order to add a new column with the year, I will have to just go in add column, custom column, and write here the name of our column year, and to add our formula like date year, so date dot year. Just clean this text before, so I have on my formula, open parentheses, and we just need to add our dates column, close parentheses, enter. Okay, so we have a new column with the years. Okay, so for the next steps, you can just pause this video and just go along to all these formulas and add it in the table, similarly as I did with the year. So what you'll have to do, we'll just have to go here in add column, custom column, and then add all these formulas. When you are ready with this, just come back and we'll go with the next steps. Welcome back, great work. By this time you should have a similar table as mine, so with all these columns with month name, quarter name, and so on. What we can do next thing, we can just now we have a query. As you can see, this is a query. We can go in view and advanced. We have all our work coded here. We can just copy it now and just paste it in Excel or another Power BI report, and the whole work will be available for us. And next thing that we can do, we can transform this query in a function and then add two parameters like start date and end date, and we can just simply modify our calendar very easily. So for that we will go in advanced editor again, and to transform this query in a function, we will have to just press enter here before let. Just press enter like this, and we can open parentheses, type equal and greater sign, and inside in the parentheses we will be able to add as many parameters as we want, and the sign equal and greater means go to this code, and inside where we have the start date here, we can add our parameter also in the duration days when we do the subtractions, and also the end date. And let's just do that. We'll click done. Our table was transformed in a function now. We can just go in home, look for manage parameters, new parameter. We will name it start date. As type we will use date, and the current value will say January 1st 2020. Click OK, and we'll do same for end date, and we'll just click again manage parameters, new parameter. We'll name it end date, not here. We'll choose date, and for end date we'll say 2024 December. So we will write December like 12th the month, the date 31 the end and 2024. If I write first the date 31 and then the month, it will not work, so you have to type first the month, click OK, and now we can go back in our function in view advanced editor, and here inside the parentheses we will add our parameters like start date, which is here, comma, and date. And now we can just simply delete our initial start date and add only the parameter names like start date. And we do similarly for the duration days. So we'll delete this one, which is the end date, and we will say end date minus start date. So we delete this again, start date, and don't forget to close the parentheses here and hit done. And as you can see, we have already in our function the option of start date and end date. So for start date we can choose any date we want, but I will choose mine, which is January 1st 2020, and I'm looking for end of 2025, so I'll write December last day of the month 2025, and if I click invoke, I will get a new I will get my calendar table. So let's see, everything is great. So this is how we can add also parameters and change our calendar as we want, which is actually cool. In the next session we'll need this calendar, so we can also rename it as calendar query. So in the next session we will discuss about time intelligence functions. It will be also very interesting because we will have the chance to transform our data, to visualize it and calculate it as we want on a long period of times. That will be very interesting. Until next time, take care of yourself, and all the best from my side. Bye.